and welcome to the Vlogging Pod. Today we are joined by Lorenzo Petruzziello, and I have been practicing that name, and I hope I did it justice.
Almost.
Almost. Okay. Well, Well, let me get this right. How about that? You are the author of The Love Fool and a Mistake Incomplete.
Correct.
Yay!
Thank you.
You're welcome. I have quite a few questions. I like to do a little bit of research on my guests before they come on. I do everything from listening to podcasts you may have been on, any kind of interviews, anything I can dig up, okay? So just so you're forewarned.
All right.
Okay.
Hopefully it's all good.
Well, of course. I wouldn't dish the dirt. Well, maybe if it was funny, but what I'm so curious about is I want you to tell me a little bit about living in Rome. I believe it was in 2011, where I believe your inspiration for The Love Fool came about. But what I'm curious is tell me about living in Rome in comparison to your home in Massachusetts.
Oh boy. Well, I guess I should start with I was born and raised here in Massachusetts. I went to school here. I'm American.
Okay.
But I've spent my summers in Italy since I was 11.
Right.
So, when I moved to Rome, I just picked up and left. And living there, how was it different from living here? Well, I didn't have a job over there. So it was kind of like a little mini vacation. But I can't compare the foods, the coffee, the people. I mean, just waking up every day is just like living a dream. So unlike here where I'm used to working all the time. So I hope that answers your question.
So it's a little bit like a vacation. Hold on just a second. I'm sorry. One dog wants out.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you want in. Okay. I'm sorry. One dog wants in. Come on, hurry up.
Dog break.
I know. I'm so sorry. I am very sorry.
That's okay.
Anyways, I thought they were both in here. Apparently, I was wrong. And one was trying to let me know the other one wanted in. So there you go.
Yeah. That's nice.
Well, sometimes, sometimes they're nice, but this isn't about me. This is about you. Go ahead. Were you going to say something?
No, I was just going to say, as far as the way I was living, it was a little more vacation time while I was there because I wasn't working much. So I was allowed to go walk around the city and explore it because I really didn't know Rome. I had visited a couple of times, but I've never actually seen Rome until I was living there in 2011. And I had a lot of time to myself. I did have a part-time gig of blogging for a food tour company. And so part of my job was to research local Roman foods and dishes and cuisine. So that was fun too. So it forced me to explore the city.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean,
which is how I got inspired to write the scenes in The Love Fool.
Nice. I think it's awesome that you can find inspiration plus work in a situation where it's like a vacation too. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That is the ultimate. So, I would like to read a quote from you. Is that okay?
Of course.
Okay. I found this on the Feather Quill.
Okay.
I noted this comment. I struggle to find a voice to which I can relate. Tell me why The Great Gatsby helped you find yours, meaning your voice in writing.
Mm-hmm. So, The Great Gatsby, especially with The Love Fool, The Great Gatsby for me is, well, I guess for many people, is a sad story of some guy, Gatsby, who just would not get over his fantasy of what he thought was. And I thought that was something that all of us go through when we think about uh, heartbreak,
Mm-hmm.
or like a former girlfriend, a former boyfriend, or somebody we never were able to get acquainted with. So we sometimes are our own enemy by making ourselves, feel that pain every now and then. And I connected with that emotion, especially when I was writing The Love Fool, because that emotion's in that Love Fool too, with Alex's story. And
Okay.
that helped me. So The Love Fool was my first long form writing, and I
Okay.
guess that's what I meant by help me find my voice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for anyone who may not know, explain to us the long
Yeah.
form writing.
Uh, well, writing a novel of like, God, how many pages was that? So long ago. Over 300 pages.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I had never written something of that length. So,
Okay. All right.
yeah.
There was something I found truly interesting as I dived further into you.
Yeah.
Your first book, The Loveful, you had
Mhm.
mentioned the cat sanctuary. Tell
Yes.
us about that and how it played
Mhm.
a part in The Loveful.
Yeah. There's a site in Rome called Largo di Argentina, and it's basically a square
Mm-hmm.
where you look down into the ruins. Uh, Roman ruins are scattered all around Rome, obviously, but
Right.
this particular site was where Julius Caesar was stabbed. And so it's turned into the stray cats of Rome have a place to go and be taken care of by a public veterinary that's there, and they feed the cats, they take care of the cats, they spay and neuter the cats.
Okay.
These are all stray cats, yeah. So it's funded by the city.
Oh, it's funded by the city?
Yeah. So the thing, and the reason why it's relevant to my book, because my character Alex visits this specific spot several times, and that's when he makes many big decisions for himself, and he thinks through life, and he's just staring at the cats, and that's why I visited frequently in that book, in the
Nice.
love book. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Now,
So
and you
yeah,
did mention in the beginning here before we started rolling along here when we were
yes,
talking, that you have a cat, yes?
yes, I do. His name is Bruce.
Bruce, okay.
Yeah,
Well, I
he's
have a
very
Brutus
welcome.
at my ankles. Similar, quite.
Oh, yes, yeah,
Just a little bit. Um,
yeah.
let's see. I want to ask you about your memory. Okay. I know that seems a little
About what?
your memory. Okay.
Okay,
How you
yeah.
memorize things. Okay. I know that seems a little aloof,
Okay,
but I have a point to this.
okay, okay.
Okay. I understand you work in a corporate world, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. And sometimes note taking and our idea
Hmm.
books just aren't at your fingertips, right?
Yes, yep.
Okay. So what I'm curious about, and I
Hmm.
actually read this,
Yeah.
um, I hear that you like to repeat things to yourself.
Yes, I do. Yes,
Okay.
I
And
have to.
oh,
Yeah.
you have to. Okay.
Well, regarding the story, yeah, idea. But go
Uh
on,
huh.
finish your question, and
Okay.
I'll answer yours.
I know, but you're drilling on something. I'm thinking, I might write some notes and ask some questions on that.
Well, I was gonna say, I don't. Well, let me just tell you. So
Okay.
when I'm, you know how ideas just come to us at
Yes.
random times. You
Mm-hmm.
can't plan when the ideas come to
Right.
you. Even when writing, you can't just sit at a desk and be like, okay, writing time. I mean, you need to be prepared. You have to have your ideas. So usually, I commute to work. I drive to work, and the ride is about 30 minutes to 40 minutes.
Okay.
And I have a playlist for whatever I'm writing.
Okay.
Songs that like make me feel the emotion I want to.
Oh,
Write.
wait. Now you're going over
Yeah.
on questions I have already lined up.
Oh, All right.
That's all right.
Well,
Keep going. Keep
no,
going.
I'll skip that for a minute, but here's the thing. I have ESP. I know you're going to ask.
You know, I had another person on my show. There's only been one other so far. Admittedly, I haven't been on the air for very long, just this past month. But there was one other person who's done this. I had questions, and all of a sudden, within one question, she would answer the other question. I was like, holy freaky oi! Wait a minute!
Yeah. I'll pause there.
No, go ahead. Continue.
I would just tell you, as I'm driving, I think of a scene, and I'm constantly repeating the scene in my head, the dialogue I have in that scene, and every time I repeat it, a new detail pops in, or a new addition to the dialogue pops in, and I'll repeat it in my head until I get to a place, the office or my house, where I'll write down what I just thought of in the car. And I'll continue playing that scene over and over again. And as I continue doing that, the scene grows and it gets deeper and deeper with more details. That's what I was getting.
You're right. I don't know if it's you putting me under the pressure, or the dogs in my sound booth, but boy, am I getting a bead of sweat.
I tend to do that.
Mr. Deerheart says, are you reading the tea leaves? Is that how you figured me out? Are you reading tea leaves?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm tarot cards, actually, tarot cards.
Okay. I'm obviously drinking the wrong stuff. It's coffee for me, and I don't know. There's no grounds on the bottom, but I don't know. Okay, so let me skim through here. Because where I was going with is when I heard about your memory, I was going to ask about your commute home, which you mentioned is about a 40-minute ride. And I was also going to ask about your playlist. Because I heard that was one of the things that inspired you on your way home. And it kept you kind of on course as far as where you were going with your books. Now, how does that exactly work? Tell me how you actually orchestrate that to continue your, your creative process.
Yeah, sure. So when I have a story in mind, I'll talk about A Mistake Incomplete, for example, my latest book. I'll have this story in mind, and I'll think of it as a movie in my head. And I'll think of what would the soundtrack be that kind of relates to this story, that gives that same emotion, and kind of like the lyrics kind of give that feeling of what the characters are going through, just like a movie soundtrack. Mm-hmm. And so I put together a playlist, and I listen to it constantly. Whether I'm at home, doing whatever, or driving, or on a train, whatever I'm doing, I always have that playlist going. And as that playlist goes, I think of new scenes. I think maybe of a new character that will come into a scene. But that playlist inspires me constantly. So, and for whoever's listening, I have those playlists on Spotify for both The Loveful and for A Mistake Incomplete. Yes, you can find the link on my website, magnusmay.com. Yep.
That is nice. I agree with Mr. Deerheart. Yeah. That is nice. I'm going to give you a full confession, though, Lorenzo.
Yeah.
Mr. Deerheart is my husband.
Isn't he supposed to be working?
Yeah, I'm just saying. He said that, well, he did admit, he said that he would try to carve me out 20 minutes today so that he could be a part of the audience. So that was really sweet.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, so. Now, it's more for you as a guest. It's not for me, really.
Thank you, Mr. Deerheart.
Yeah, he's rocking in for the team. That's what he's saying. So let's see. I want to hear a little bit more about A Mistake Incomplete. I mean, how did this book come about? I mean, I know your first book was an inspiration from Rome, but tell me how this one came about.
So I am a big fan of classic films, especially Hitchcock films and noir films.
Right.
So I watch them quite often. I'm not an expert in them, but I watch them often. And I just love the suspense, the feeling of suspense and like uncertainty and whatever. So I wanted to write, I want my writing to have that, or evoke that type of feeling. In fact, Mistaken Complete is what I want to be known for, not The Loveful, because The Loveful was inspired by a romantic comedy, but it's not a romantic comedy.
Okay.
A Mistaken Complete is more of a noir suspense, darker type of story.
Okay.
And I was inspired by all the classics films like Gilda, North by Northwest, To Catch a Thief, The Third Man. So that's what inspired me. And I said it in Milan because that's for me because I did a study abroad in Milan back in the 90s, late
Okay.
90s, and I wanted to give a little homage to that period of my life.
Nice. Tell
Yeah.
me a little bit about how being bilingual came about.
Well, I was born and raised speaking both languages.
Okay.
So, but the Italian I was raised speaking is a dialect from like an area of Italy where we're from, which is southern Italy. Um,
Okay.
but so I grew up speaking both most all my life, obviously, and I guess and then I learned to read, write, and composition, etc. while I was going to Italy every summer because I was tutored by a family friend who used to be a teacher
Nice.
for a couple of summers. Yeah, yeah.
Nice. Very nice. Now, in full disclosure, I have your website up,
Okay.
and I want to ask you about. Stop. That, not you. um, an incomplete thief, and I'm sorry, an incompetent thief, makes
Yeah,
another attempt at burglary. A hopeless bartender struggles to manage her last patron. The pair
yeah.
reluctantly works together to figure out why a man they presume dead may have returned, while a lonely tourist inadvertently gets in the way. So
Mhm.
can you elaborate a little bit more on that? I mean, can you give us something that
Sure.
really pulls us in?
Yeah. So that's obviously the description of a mistake complete.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Something that pulls you in. Let's see. This story is about a man, an incompetent thief, who is at a point in his life who realizes that he's older, life's a little different, life's not as easy as it used to be when he was younger and good looking. And so
Doesn't that
he
happen to
tries,
us all?
yeah, we can all relate. So everything he tries to do the old way is not working for him. So he's
Right.
struggling to find the way that works for him. Yep.
Okay. I
And
have
that
found that
helps.
these big ring lights help when I'm at least filming. Kind of
Yeah, I
blurs,
know.
yeah,
Keep it bright. Yes, exactly.
kind of blurs the lines a little bit.
Yeah. Or stay in the shadows.
Yes, right. Okay, we're just a
uh,
few minutes, we're just a few seconds over, but I do want to ask you one following question.
okay.
Now, take your time with this, okay?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
what is one thing, no matter how much we search the internet on you, we would not find, but is crucial to who you are as a person?
Oh, um, jeez. Um,
Take your time, it's all right.
boy, I don't know. I don't know what's on the internet and what's not. Let me see. As crucial as let's see. Um, I don't know. I mean, it's obvious I like to eat and drink. It's all
Okay,
over my Instagram.
right.
Uh,
Well, being a food blogger, we
um,
kind of got that too.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. Let's see. Oh, I know. Let's see. I wrote these books. The Love Fool, let's say it's my first one.
Okay.
Never thinking I could write something like that. Never thinking I could write a book. And I know it's not like the best polished item, but it's my first book. And there are many people like me out there that hesitate on trying to do something like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I basically, I always questioned myself, can I do it? Can I do it? Can I do it? And I do that a lot with everything I do. I do it a little too much. So I guess, does that answer that question?
Okay. Yes, I think it
I
does.
question myself a lot. Yeah.
You know what? I think as authors, we all do. We all question ourselves a
Yeah.
little bit more because when you get
Yes.
ready to publish, it's not just you critiquing yourself. Although we are our worst critics, you put yourself
Yeah.
out there for everybody, and I think that's what it takes a
Right.
very strong center to be able to do that. You know what I
Yes.
mean? It really does. It
Yeah.
takes
And,
a thick
and
skin or whatever you
yeah,
want to call it. You know what I mean? It takes a lot to do
exactly.
that. I want to thank you so
Right. The last
much.
thing,
Go ahead.
yeah, sorry, I just wanted to say
Okay.
to everybody listening that if I could do it, you can do it. So don't hesitate. Just do
Right.
it.
I agree. I agree with that. I
Yeah.
want to thank you
Yeah.
so much for being on the show with us today. And thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for all of our guests today. And guests, that's you. All of our audience today. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. And I look forward to seeing you all again here next. I think we have our next guest is next Tuesday. So have a great evening, everyone. Thank you again for coming in. Bye bye.